Many illnesses that have plagued humanity in the past and continue to do so today are the result of our own ignorance about the body's physiological processes. To maintain good health, it is essential to understand proper nutrition, fluid intake, and clothing choices. This was the conclusion reached by 19th century writer Ellen White. At the age of 27, she suffered a stroke. Shortly before this incident, the doctor overseeing her health had warned her of her serious condition and an impending fatal outcome. However, despite these grim predictions, she survived. This experience led her to deeply explore the connection between health and diet. The knowledge she gained brought significant changes to her eating habits. It is likely that these changes allowed her to live for another 6 decades. Today, we will discuss the dietary principles Ellen White followed, as well as the recommendations she shared with her audiences during public speeches. In one of her letters to her brother, Ellen White pointed out that his unhealthy lifestyle had led to a serious decline in his health. In her view, the main cause of his ailments was excessive and frequent eating. It is worth noting that Ellen had 7 siblings. However, except for her sister Mary, none of them lived as long as she did. You tend to be irritable and often lose self-control. Your movements are abrupt, giving the impression of an extremely unbalanced personality. To improve your health, you need to spend more time outdoors, increase physical activity, and, without a doubt, practice moderation in eating, Ellen White advised her brother. In the same letter, Ellen White explained to her brother the importance of moderation in eating. She emphasized that the stomach can process only a certain amount of food. Anything beyond that overloads the body and leads to various ailments. When our stomach struggles to handle an excessive amount of food, it becomes exhausted. As a result, we start feeling weak. Mistakenly interpreting this weakness as hunger, we eat again, further overloading the digestive system, Ellen White explained. According to Ellen White, overeating can lead to headaches, apathy, sluggishness, and discomfort in the stomach. However, these symptoms may not always be present. Still, regularly consuming too much food gradually reduces the efficiency of the digestive organs. Eventually, a point is reached where vital bodily functions are disrupted, diseases develop, and a person's life becomes filled with suffering. To prevent overeating and improve digestion, Ellen White advised thoroughly chewing food and maintaining a strict 5-hour interval between meals. Ellen White shared from experience that after facing health issues, she switched to eating only 2 meals a day, eliminating dinner. She also recommended that her brother follow the same 2-meal routine. However, if completely skipping dinner was not an option, she advised keeping it light, for example, having only crackers and fruit. If you value your health, you should eat simple food, and it should be prepared in the simplest way possible, Ellen White declared during her public speeches, later compiled into the book, The Fundamentals of Healthful Living. Additionally, she insisted that at least 1 meal a day should be warm. She discouraged frequent consumption of cold dishes, as the stomach must first warm them up before digestion can begin. This process, she explained, forces the body to use up its vital energy. As an example of simple and warm food, Ellen White mentioned thin porridge made from whole wheat, cooked in water. She recommended adding a small amount of milk only after the porridge had cooled slightly. Another example of a simple and warm dish, she said, was beans, which could be prepared by boiling or stewing. From these examples, it can be concluded that after her illness, Ellen White adopted a vegetarian diet. Until the end of her life, she held the belief that the most suitable foods for humans are those originally intended for us by the Creator. In biblical texts, we find statements that food for humans includes every herb-bearing seed and every tree-yielding fruit. Thus, the diet intended for us by the Creator consists of grains, nuts, vegetables, and fruits. These are the most beneficial and nourishing foods for our bodies, Ellen White asserted. To support her claims, she cited research involving people over the age of 60. These studies showed that the mortality rate among those who consumed minimal amounts of meat, or avoided it entirely, was only 30% of the mortality rate among those who placed no restrictions on their meat consumption. Ellen White emphasized that a person should not limit themselves to a monotonous, low-calorie, and tasteless diet. To add variety, she recommended complementing grains, nuts, vegetables, and greens with eggs, cream, and other dairy products. And remember, even excessive consumption of healthy food weakens your body, affecting both physical and mental well-being. Considering that we have only one life, we must ask ourselves, what do we desire more, the rich and elaborate dishes that often fill our tables, or strong health and a clear mind? Ellen White stated,